Hey, welcome to this brief tutorial on how to push up your React Express app to Heroku. I will have a text version of this tutorial down below, so in case you're not a video fan, which I'm not, you can just follow the text tutorial. All right, let's get started. So you have an Express app, you have a React Express app, and let's just assume that yours your client, your React part is in some folder. I have mine in a folder called client. So everything else is Express except for this client folder, which is React. I just barely, I just scaffolded this app, so which means that I still haven't run it yet. I still haven't done npm install yet, so keep that in mind as well. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't have multiple .git folders. That hidden folder .git that keeps track of your repository. So every time you do a git init, it creates a .git folder. You want to make sure you only have one of those. And let's say, and no, actually, that .git folder should be in the root directory. So if you have a .git directory in the client folder, in the React folder, go ahead and remove that. Very important. That could cause a lot of problems down the road. And let's go ahead and also remove the .gitignore in the client. So we only have one .gitignore and not multiple. Okay. Next up is I got to make sure that I have everything ready to go and working locally. So let me do that real quick. So I'm in my root directory and I still need to run npm install in this directory. Npm install has already been run in the client folder, so I don't have to do it there. Okay, next up is in my server file, I like to just have a little message that says server started on port blah blah blah. A lot of people already have that. I don't have it. It doesn't come with a scaffolding code. So I'll just add that real quick. So there it is. So this is going to show what port I'm connected to. And it just, I don't know, it just tells me that the app is running. Okay, next up is I'm going to change the port number on the server side. Again, you got to be very careful to distinguish between server side and client side. So when I say server side, it's everything except for this client folder. So on the server side, there's a place where you specify the port number. I'm going to change this to 5,000 instead of 3,000 so it doesn't conflict with React. Okay, so far so good. Next up is we gotta address routing, meaning routes are going to be, let me actually create a route. I'm just going to create a route in, let me see. So my App.js, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new route. Let's just create a new route. Okay. So you're going to add this. First line is commented out. This is just for testing purposes. You don't have to do yours this way. I'm just going to call it API. And all it does is just sends back an object with a key message. And then the value is a string. Okay. Okay. What else? Next up is let's add a proxy to React. So the client. So this is the first time we're going to do something on the client side. So on the client side, go ahead and go to package.json. And I'm just going to put it at the very end. Make sure this part is like a lot of new students get this wrong. Pay attention to the curly brackets, where they end, where they start. Pay attention to commas. Very easy to mess up on. So add a new item, a proxy item that points to localhost 5000, which is a server. So we're telling React that, you know, you can also pull things from port 5000. So when we reference an endpoint, it can access it through 5000 in addition to 3000. Okay, so let's save this. Moving on to React, actually staying in React, that is. In React, all I'm going to do, you don't have to do this part. This is, or you can do it however you like, but I need to connect to the backend. I need to have in order for me to test, I need the front end to hit up an Express endpoint, right? So for that, I'm just going to use this App.js, the root file. And what I'm going to do is, and let me get the code for that. I'm just going to change that to a class-based component. Again, you can do this part however you like. You don't have to do it this way. I'll tell you the part that's important that you do have to pay attention to, which is this right here, this fetch /API. This is saying, go ahead and call the Express backend, more specifically, the endpoint that ends in /API. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to get rid of this console log. Okay, and I'm using state here, and I'm setting the response, and we're getting back to the state called response. You can do it in many different ways. I mean, at the end of the day, what's important is that you get, a response back. So you can do like a console log right here, and maybe like print out. Actually, in fact, what I just had a few seconds ago, you can have something like this to test it, right? Just a console log. So if you see the results, the message, well done, you're good to go. Okay. All right, next up is, I have this component that hits up the backend Express server. What is next? Okay, cool. So next is we're gonna hop over to the backend again. This time we need to install a new package called course. So I'm going to do an npm. So make sure you're in the root directory. This is also another thing that's easy to mess up on. A lot of people might be in the wrong directory. They might be in client. Make sure you're in the root directory for this. Make sure you install course, C-O-R-S. And again, all the instructions, all the text instructions or the text version of this is going to be down below in the description. So definitely use that to copy paste. Don't try to type it out yourself. A lot of mistakes happen that way. Okay, and now that we have course installed, let's go ahead and import it. So for that, let me hop over to my other app and get the code for that. So you're gonna import course, and you can do it. You can do it anywhere really. I'm just gonna do it right here after I instantiate Express. So right here, I'm gonna import course, and I'm going to use it right here. What is course? Course just allows you to communicate between ports, between it just makes it's there. Course is usually there to prevent people from accessing your endpoints or your certain path illegally, I guess, not in the right manner. So it's usually a good thing, but in this case, we want to enable course to allow React to be able to talk to Express, and that cross communication could happen between those two. Next up is we're gonna add the following line. I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna add it right below it, maybe right here. This is just telling serve all static files from the React folder, not from the public folder. Okay, and I'm gonna comment, and then I'm gonna comment this line out, or just replace. Just let's make it easier on ourselves. So just that particular code, just replace. If you have a code like this, replace it with this one. If you don't have it, then you don't have to worry about it. So, okay, next up is okay, next up is telling Express that if somebody goes to any other path besides the one specified, besides / users and API, to load the root React file, index file, the root HTML file of React. So if none of these API endpoints match, when somebody hits the server, it will show them the root React index file, which gets built, by the way. Okay, so that's that. What else? Okay, in order for me to test it, I still need to run npm build in the client. So I'm not in the client right now. I'm in the root. It's a little bit hard to see or make sense of it because my path is very long, but this is the root basically. So I'm going to go to client. I'm going to cd into client, and I'm going to do an npm build. And I think I got the script wrong. I think it's npm. Yeah, usually if you got it wrong, if you did npm build, it'll give you the correct script. So I'm just going to, there it is. npm run script build, that is. Okay, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I think we're pretty much ready, or we are ready to test it locally. Okay, so how do you test it locally? Well, there's multiple ways to do it. You might be doing it differently, but you got to start the server, the Express server, and the React server. So let's do that. So I'm going to try to start the Express server first. Hopefully, oh, we got a problem there. And the problem is router is not defined. App.js 36. Normal stuff that happens. Oh, router. It's not router. It's let me use. Yeah, I tried to do it slightly different here. I'll do it. I'll move this / API. I'll move that into the index router. So somewhere you need to have a route. I mean, you don't have to have this. This is just for testing purposes. You can test any other route if you like. I'm just, and let me just, you know what? And let me, okay. I wonder if I should get rid of this because we already have the root, but we want to load. I think this still loads React. So you might have some sort of routing. Let's leave it in there. Let's see what happens. I think it works either way. Whether I get rid of it or not rid of it, it should work. It should load React homepage if somebody goes to the root, basically. That's what we want. We want if somebody goes to the root of Express, we want React to be loaded, not Express. Okay, so let's save it. Let's try again. Again, this is normal stuff that happens during deployment. I'm glad this happened, to be honest, because so you can maybe, some of you might run into similar issues. Okay, so there's listening on port 5000. So that one looks good. And let's do the same thing with React. Okay, React is loading. Let me pull it up. Oh, there we go. So it worked locally, but that's not really why you wanted to watch this video, is it? The reason why you want to watch this video is because, or you decided to watch this video is because you want to see it deployed to Heroku. So let's deploy it to Heroku. Go ahead and go into your dashboard. I'm going to create a new new Heroku app, that is. I'm going to call it test 2 React Express, I don't know, Heroku. All right, create app. Okay, so this created the app on Heroku side. Now we got to connect our app to Heroku, right? So let's go ahead and do that. And how are we going to do that? Well, I'm going to exit out of this server. I'm going to exit out of both of these services, the server services, that is. And I'm going to follow. Actually, before I do anything, very important. Let's go ahead and, it's not very important. It's actually not very important at all. But let's add node modules to the git ignore. So I'm going to create a new folder, .git ignore, all lowercase. and not a folder. I made a mistake there. A file, that is, right? Git ignore, and I'm just going to put the node modules in there. Okay. And that should hopefully ignore both node modules in the Express, on the Express side, and the client side, the React side. Okay. All right, so that's that. Okay, so let's before we connect our local app to Heroku remote app, let's add a very important line in our, where would this go? This goes in our express package.json. So in here, you're going to add under scripts, you're going to add a comma, next line, and the following. Again, I'm going to have this all in the description part of this video. I'm more of a text person. I don't know how people can watch videos, to be honest. So for me, if I clicked on this video, I'd probably use the description part, the text version of this. Okay, so we have Heroku post build CD client, which just CDs into the client, npm installs it, and then npm run build. Okay, so that should tell Heroku what to do with React. All right, what else? I think, okay, we're finally ready to follow these instructions right here. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to do a git init. I haven't done a git init yet. You might already have a repo. You might already have, it might already be initialized to a Git repository. And the way to find out is if you do git status, mine says it's not a repository. Yours is going to say something else if it is a Git repository. So mine says not. So I'm going to do git init. I haven't messed with GitHub yet. So it's just I'm just trying to connect it with Heroku without pushing up to GitHub, which I need to do eventually in order to share it with you guys. But okay, so there's git init. Then I'm going to do a git add. And actually, you know what? Initialize a Git repository in a new or existing directory. I think I can follow. I don't have to use this command for existing repositories. Okay, I don't have an existing repository, so I'm going to follow this. So I'm going to do git init. I'm already in my project. Do git init. Add Heroku, my remote Heroku app, that is. And now just do the notorious git add, git commit, and I do it on one line with 2 ampersands, and I'm just going to call it initial commit because that works for me. And then git push Heroku, and I think it's master, not main in my case. In yours, it might be main. Okay, so when you do that, it's going to try to build everything, set everything up on Heroku side, and it gives you this like nice log trace of what's happening, and which I kind of like. I think it's kind of cool. And what you want to see at the end is a message saying successfully built. So while it's doing that, let me look over my notes and make sure I didn't miss anything. It's very easy to miss something. Trust me on that. Okay. It's taking a little bit longer than usual, which kind of surprises me, that is. And oh, okay, finally moving. Oof, I was worried there for a moment. Okay, I'm just going to look over my notes in the meantime. Oh, there's that build succeeded. That's the message we want to see. Yeah, there's a lot of small things that you can miss, so I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. We got the proxy. We got the Heroku post build script. Okay. Let's just test it and see what happens. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I got everything. So how do you test it? Well, they give you the URL that you can hit up. This is where your app is hosted. Actually, I'm sorry. Did I grab the right one? Oh, it's this one right here. I grabbed the wrong one. Make sure it's the one that ends in .com, not in .git. Oh, there it is. We got our React Express app hosted on Heroku. There's another video of mine where I tried to do the same thing, but I overcomplicated it. So this is the simpler version of that video. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm sure you do. I'm a coding tutor. This is what I do, and I would love to help you if I can. I'm not a coding ninja, but I'm just at best a few steps ahead of you. But I would love to help, so let me know, please. And I'm just starting doing this. I would love, for you guys to subscribe. If you guys want to be in the loop in terms of things like hosting or pushing up apps to Heroku or topics like these. Okay. All right, guys, that's it. Yeah, take care. Till next time. Bye.